Good morning, everybody. Is it 6 degrees now, David?
Yeah, we were at 6, so it just dropped.
Okay. You're welcome back.
And Dave is around.
It is almost 7:45. Sebastien Centner is here. He is one of Canada's most recognized entertaining experts, that's for sure, and the director of Entertainment Special Events. How are you?
I'm good, thank you.
You brought this stuff for us?
Yes, we sort of set up a little bit of a thematic sort of background for you for today, for Halloween.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I want to get right to these pictures of some of the parties you've done, and then we'll talk about this fabulousness over here.
Sure.
You did a party for 50 Cent? Fitty?
We did a party for the film festival where the client flew in 50 Cent actually for the party.
Nice.
So it was funny because it was a party that took place on a Monday, and it was the first planning started on the Thursday before. So it was 4 days of planning. Yeah, but it was a lot of fun. It was a very, very fun event. It was our business is all about challenges and excitement, and we love what we do. So if you have 4 days to figure out a plan for 200 people and a 50 Cent performance, well, you just figure it out.
And is there, like, how do you deal with that pressure? Do you have a huge team?
No, you know, we have a pretty big team. We're between our restaurant operations and our event operations, we're about 200 people, but the core team that runs the events is only about 12 people. Mm-hmm. So you sort of ramp up, but it's also not necessarily about the size of the team. It's more about sort of making sure you're thinking things through carefully, and it's whether you're doing that at home or whether you're doing it as a business, the same sort of, you know, approach applies, which is plan as much as you can in advance and sort of cross off every little detail, and chances are you're going to have a lot less to worry about.
And are you always present? Are you always present at these events?
No, we do almost 900 events in Canada and the U.S.
Right.
So I can't physically be at all of them, obviously. But I do try and make it to as many as possible, at least just to pop in. But we have a great team, and they all sort of run their own events, and it depends on the event.
You must hate going to parties on your own time because you do so much of it for work.
No, actually, I love parties. We were at a Halloween party on Saturday night, and it was great to get out. I'm very lucky that I've got my wife at home who's always pushing me. Okay, come on, we got to get out to this party. We got to get out to this party. So even if I end up at the end of the week, sort of after 12 or 13 parties, all my friends call me a serial entertainer because it'll be like, okay, what are we doing Saturday night? Who's coming over?
Right.
You know, what are we going to plan? That kind of thing.
Never get worn out. This Mad Hatter's Tea Party. I want to take a look at that. Was that one of the more extravagant things you've done?
Yeah, that was for a social client for a birthday party for their 6-year-old. And yeah, we do. I mean, these are a lot of sort of the more high-end, really extravagant, really elaborate parties that we've done. And but every party sort of has that kind of excitement to it, whether it's a small breakfast for 12 or whether it's a.
That was for a 6-year-old.
That was the sophisticated taste of 6-year-olds.
Can you imagine what the wedding's gonna be like?
Oh my, yeah, good boy.
Do you like working with themes? Is that something that's fun for you, or do you prefer not to work?
No,
with
you know
themes?
what? We love themes, but themes are kind of tricky. If it's Halloween, theme works great. If it's a birthday party, you can do a theme. Sometimes people tend to try and find a theme just to sort of make the party something, and if you have to make it a stretch, if you have to think about the theme too much, then it won't work. So the idea about any party, again, whether it's at home or in our business, you have to walk in and get it right away. If we have to explain to you what the theme is by, you know, too many elements, etc., then it's lost.
Okay, you did something for a party for President Clinton?
We've done 2 events for President Clinton, one just after his presidency at a private home, and then most recently we did the post reception for when he was in town for the debates with George Bush.
Does he like to party? President Clinton?
Actually, he's pretty tame now. He's much more. He has a very specific diet, so we got all that in advance, all lean meats.
He's vegan now.
Well,
he wasn't vegan when we did this last event for him. That's a more recent one, but he was very, very lean. So you know, all of his aides said the same thing. Says don't put him in front of anything like fatty. He'll eat it, but he's not supposed to.
Right, yeah.
So we had to design the whole menu around it.
You said he walked into the kitchen. Was he asking for a hamburger? Or?
Well, sort of. It was funny. We have this saying in our business that you know, keep the kitchen super clean. You know, for a whole bunch of reasons, but also you never know who's going to walk into your kitchen, and we always say that too. So whether we're working out of a garage that we have to transform into a kitchen, our own kitchens, and that night I was waiting out front, and Clinton was leaving. He was supposed to go out the front door, and he has a tendency to not necessarily follow what he's supposed to do, and he went left instead of going right to go talk to the owner about this electric scooter he had bought. And he ended up in the garage with him and Kevin Spacey and 15 of our chefs. So we have this great picture of all of them together, and it was sort of a perfect example. I said, that's why you keep your kitchen clean. You never know who's going to walk into your kitchen.
What about costs on this kind of thing, Sebastien? Because people want to know.
Well, you know what? It's funny. Every client has a budget. It doesn't matter if you're throwing something that's way over the top or whether you're doing a small corporate event. Everybody has a budget to work towards. And same thing for the people at home. They have a budget to work towards, and it's more about managing that budget. So we do have super extravagant budgets to work with sometimes. Most of the time we have modest budgets to work with, and we have to sort of take items and decide, you know, what's most important. Like, for example, champagne. Like, everybody says, oh, I want to serve champagne at my party as people arrive, etc. Well, if 90% of the people there aren't going to really know the difference between a champagne and a sparkling wine, and it's being passed from the back, why would you spend all the money on champagne?
Right.
We're about looking for value for our clients at the same time as creating a great atmosphere.
Let's talk about this stuff. This is the cutest thing.
The pipettes.
I just love that.
Yeah, your green room is very plentiful today with lots of great foods.
We love that.
So that's a pipette skewer. It's one of the newer things we're working on. A lot of what we do is the food has to taste great, but also before you even try it, you got to just sort of, you know, love it with your eyes, or, you know, eat with your eyes first.
This looks strangely...
It's French toast with a little thing in the top that you
illicit,
squeeze
don't you think?
It could be. It could be. You should see the ads we did around that. They're very illicit.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
There, you squeeze in the
That's a little
sauce.
maple syrup.
So it's a little
So
bit
that
of...
must be fun for you to sort of think
fabulous.
of ways to reinvent food and
Absolutely.
present it in unique ways.
Food is a huge part of what we do. We are at the base, we're a catering company, so that's what we started
You can
with.
squeeze it into the middle.
So what's fun about it actually is we always challenge our chefs. Like, here's the idea, here's what we want to do,
This is a
right? And
disaster
then we
waiting.
sell it, and then they have to figure out how to do it for 1,000 people. But it's a lot of fun.
So for people throwing a party at home, what's sort of the key element that's going to make it special for them?
The most important element is to do as much as you can in advance. Okay, now he's really making a list. Now we're now taking it to a whole new level.
They got lovely little
You know,
That was good.
I don't think it was meant to be eaten that way, but we're going to do it that way. We're going to serve it from now on.
You can have that one for
It was
free.
tasty.
Plan in advance. The more you plan in advance, the more you can do in advance. It's going to do two things. Number one, you're going to enjoy your party more because you won't be running around, you know, like a chicken with its head cut off. But the second thing is you're going to end up spending less money. People always, it's like shopping for Christmas. You know, you spend more money if you do everything last minute. Same thing for a party. If you plan it out, if you think about what you need and what you can use from your own home and things you might have done before, you'll be much more, it'll be much easier to manage your budget.
What's the strangest party supply you've ever used?
The strangest party supply, well, that I can mention on TV.
You can mention it on
Does
the
it have
show.
anything
On
to do
this
with
show,
syrup?
it's okay.
You know, we get a lot of really strange requests on riders. So if you have some sort of performance, so like
Riders are so interesting, aren't
yeah,
they?
and actually the 50-cent rider was one of the most elaborate we ever did. We had to transform our offices in Manulife Center into green rooms because he required like a meeting room. He required one office for each one of his production people, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But on top of that, we got a phone call on the Saturday saying that he would not come to town until all of his team was pre-cleared at customs. So we actually had to call an immigration lawyer on Saturday, get him back from the cottage, and deal with all those sorts of things. So there's always something exciting, but we always say there's nothing that can't be done as long as we have enough time and enough budget.
I know, is it money?
Oh, my.
Have you done a J-Lo party?
No, haven't done anything for J-Lo.
Yeah, I'd like
there's
to
a big
see
rider
that.
out there.
That rider.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Sebastien Centner, thank you so much. He's the director of Entertainment Special Events. For all sorts of information about Sebastien and everything he does, morningshow.ca. Thank you, and thanks for this.
No problem. Thanks for having me.
Take a break. We'll be back in a minute at 7:52 now.
How about Kim Kardashian?
Oh, yeah, that's right.
You know what? I would actually, should be intriguing. I think
I'm Kimberly Feller. We're flying over the 404 at the 401 right now and taking a look at the drive heading over the 401 onto the Don Valley Parkway. It's just busy here over the 401 to about Whitford Drive. A northbound Parkway on the left-hand side of your screen. That's building from Eglinton up through to York Mills. Over 55, maybe it's time to book a no-cost hearing test at Sears Hearing Center. To see how you can save 15% off select hearing aids, visit searshearing.ca.